You know, I know in the last time you explained why you go off the sides like that. You start from the outside.
I do. I start from the outside because if you start pouring on the canvas, you're going to end up with a blob. You know, when paint first comes out, so I'd rather have that off the canvas than on the canvas. That way it's a uniform thickness all the way through. So I want to keep an eye on the phone just in case Glenn calls. Two directions.
My phone's over by where Jeff was eating.
Okay. So I only added the white to the outside because I'm gonna manipulate my colors out that way. So as long as these colors that are central go over, they're gonna create the cells like in that piece. So always go outward. This is called the swipe technique and it's something that I'm using a lot lately. You wanna just pick up about a pencil width of color and move really slowly so that you can pick up and redistribute as you go the paint. Now, it should start to pop up these little circles they'll keep growing as the resin thins out and relaxes.
So you don't do too much of a flow switch at one time. You just
In fact, if I wasn't teaching in a class, if I was just painting, I would do all of my swipes and manipulate the color how I want it to, and then hit it with a little bit of heat to finish it. Because the more heat you add, the thinner your resin's gonna get, the more likely your resin's gonna run off, because it's gonna break the surface tension if it's thinner. So if it's a thicker viscosity, it's gonna stay. So minimal heat, which is another reason why I like to use this swipe, because I can move the resin without using too much heat to move it.
Can you use just like some place doors, just a little air instead of heat to move it?
Absolutely can. But for a negative space piece on a small piece like this, I find that would make it a little bit chaotic if I use, because it's on and off. Like it's flowing or it's not. So for a smaller piece, I would probably recommend not doing that, but you could, for sure.
Use a straw.
You could just use your face to blow it too, you know?
Body.
This is regular paper you're using there, the
Yeah.
swiper?
Yeah, it's this paper. The great thing about these colors is they work so well together and you can mix them to create new colors. I didn't, that's just the pink and the green working together. So if I were to have used too much of the white base tint in this, these cells would have gotten cloudy by now. They won't stay very well. So just keep that in mind. Less is more, and it is no going back. You can always add more. You can't unadd, as you guys know. So a lot of people ask about composition, and it really comes down to what it is that you're trying to do. So if someone asks me how to do something, I always ask for them to send me a picture, because if I can see what you're seeing, then I can tell you how to get there. So when you guys start doing your pieces, if you can maybe pull up something on Pinterest that you saw that you wanted to try to do, or any kind of example or like a reference photo for color, I can help you as best I can to match it, which is something we do a lot of in our tours. When we did Australia, we did a 6-city tour teaching this exact class. That was one of the things I requested the students to bring to classes. Some kind of reference of something you've been trying to create. What is it you're having problems with that I can kind of like take apart and show you how to put together on a canvas. Is there anything you guys have been trying to learn with resin, or is it?
Cells, you've answered the question.
You nailed it.
So
on
is
sales.
there any other way besides this? You said you've tried other things, and I don't think I've ever heard of this, but I've heard of torching the green cells and all kinds of things like that. So
Yeah, you can tilt a lot of times. Basically what creates cells is adjusting the surface tension. So what What works in this, I think, is because there's some kind of oil property, and so whatever goes over it, oil slicks out. So that's why this has to be on the bottom, and that's why the cells aren't that color. Now for heat created waves, not waves, cells for like waves and like ocean stuff. Like on the ocean one I have over there, that wasn't with this. That was with a different kind of white because I didn't want this. That doesn't look like an ocean. I wanted small lacing type cells, you know. Yeah, the foam, I use Just Resin's titanium white. It's one of the brands that we have. Let's see. So I'm just gonna finish this out and we'll get you guys going on your pieces. I use a new piece of paper every time because if I were to go back down with this, it's gonna put the color that I just picked up in it, which is fine. But it's more simple to just get a new piece. And I'm kind of not digging, well, the cells are gonna come up, so.
But since you put the white more on the outside, that's where most of your cells are gonna be, right?
Exactly. That's why I put them on the outside because I knew I was going to come from the inside to the out. So, and I use minimal everything. I have probably enough to do a whole nother piece with
How
each.
would you do the gold? You didn't do that.
So I always leave the gold for last because if I were to do the swipe and the manipulation like I'm doing with the gold in it, the gold's going to like, I'll show you in one of the example pieces we brought. B, can you show me that big clear round? Not that one, but this one. I need to show what happens when see how it's kind of a little bit of everywhere? Like if you look at it from different angles. That's what happens if you put the gold down and then swipe with it, as opposed to adding it as an accent.
But if
that's what you wanted to, absolutely. But I just like it as kind of.
I think it's just on
It's acrylic round.
I just like a hint of gold, you know, to just bring out the color. And you can see the flecks in it starting to come up because it's a metal powder. And also I didn't start my off of the canvas, and that's the blob that I was talking about. So to fix that, I would just let it run off.
Now, I've noticed that, like if I watch YouTube channels, they're putting resin on their edges. Will you be doing that too, or do you normally do it?
I don't normally do that because my edges are right angle edges. If the edges were rounded, your resin would then fall over. If you put some resin on the edge, then it'll flow that way. But mine is such a hard angle, it's not gonna really overflow that much. But what I usually do is I'll tape off the top, flip it over, and then just spray paint the edges solid. That way it's a clean, kind of framed look. So that way it doesn't look like messy. It looks still finished, but so yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite styles, and if you tilt it, you can see things move and do. It's amazing all the different things that resin can do. So, anybody have a question or need something demonstrated? I would love to.
Do you ever do any mixed media stuff where you add stuff to the resin? Like,
So, can you hand me the ocean?
Jen was wondering how to make a Jupiter.
Let me find a reference photo and then we will create a Jupiter. So this one's mixed media. I did